It's National Finance Literacy Month, and we're talking finances all month long. Hey, Chaves County, I'm Tamara Schubert, your Family and Consumer Science Educator for NMSU and Chaves County Cooperative Extension Service. Thanks for joining me today. Today's video is all about protecting ourselves in today's world. As much as most of us do not want to admit it, times have changed over the years. In today's world of technology and living life online, one thing we all need to be aware of is fraud and the potential part that it has to play in our lives, even on a daily basis. So I'm sure all of us have had fraud happen at some point or another, or we know someone who has been affected by it. Fraud doesn't have to be big to make a large impact. So being victim of fraud can be devastating, but there are lots of resources to help prevent, recognize, and report those scams. There are 5 basic types of fraud, and being aware of them is the first step in protecting ourselves. So today will be short and easy with those 5 types. And the first one we want to talk about is email. So email provides us a convenient and powerful communication tool. Most of us have at least one account, if not multiple accounts, but unfortunately, it also provides scammers and other individuals a very easy means for luring potential victims. So here's what we can do to minimize our chance of falling victim. We want to check those spam filters. Check them and set them high. This is the first point of protection for us. Many of our scams are coming through those spam emails, and so it's important to watch for emails that may use scare tactics or threats, or contain lots of typos or misleading information, or come from different email addresses or websites. Sometimes if you click on those emails, you will see a difference of just a letter or two. You may think it's from a friend, but you check that email and it truly is not. So be cautious of those emails out there. And remember, don't download or open attachments when you don't know who they are from. Number 2 is banks. So unlike credit card fraud, it is much more difficult to recover your money if it's fraudulently withdrawn from your bank account. You can't always prevent fraud from happening, but you can take steps to limit your exposure. So the first thing we want to look at when it comes to bank is maintaining our computer security software and avoid entering personal information on public computers. And that includes that public Wi-Fi, y'all. So as easy it is to jump online and make sure we are protected when we do it. Number 2, monitor those accounts. It is recommended to log into our accounts daily. Almost all of us have a mobile device that we can do that on, or access to online banking. So jump on there daily, check and make sure everything and all is well. The other thing we want to look at here is shredding those sensitive documents. Most of us keep those ATM slips, the checks that we've done with a mobile deposit or deposit slip. Once we've reconciled those with our bank accounts, we've done our taxes, it's important to get rid of those and don't leave those hanging out to be stolen. So shredding is the best way in that regard. And as we're checking our bank accounts, make sure that we're checking those credit report agencies as well and making sure nothing has been opened under our name that we did not initiate. Number 3, we want to look at identity theft. So taking steps to protect your personal information can help you avoid identity theft. So here's what you can do to stay ahead. Protect documents that have personal information on there. If you don't have a space in your home where you can securely store those things, maybe it's time to look into one. Ask questions before giving out your social security number. This used to be the only means to identify you, and it's not anymore. So when someone is asking for your social security number, ask questions on why they need it and if they will take a different information. Most of the time they will. Protect your information from scammers online and on your phone by using strong passwords and two-factor identification. Many websites require this now, so they'll require that you get a text message or an email with another code. That's your protection, so as frustrating as it can be to go through extra steps, it is there to help protect us in the long run. A short word of advice on those passwords: don't use the same password across the board and make sure it's strong. Number 4, let's take a look at skimming. So skimming often occurs on devices that are illegally installed on ATMs, point of sales, fuel terminals, and more. This records your credit card information, and then it can be used to purchase other things without your knowledge. So at the pump, choose a pump that's close to the gas station and well lit. It's closer view to cameras and other people going in and out of the store. When it comes to ATMs, use one that's well lit. We want to use that chip technology in our car, and you may give that keypad a little wiggle just to make sure nothing's been installed in or over it. The other thing that we can do here is to make sure we cover that keypad as we enter those PIN numbers. Number 5, and the last one for today, is business fraud. This can include auction fraud, collection fraud, lottery scams, overpayment, and even some work from home scams. So if we do auction sites quite often, make sure that we're dealing with reputable companies. This is an easy one, especially with Facebook Marketplace and other things going on, to get scammed out of what we're doing. So make sure that we're using reputable sources and we trust the people that we're doing business with. Collection fraud. It's important to know what you owe. Don't take every letter in the mail at face value. Be sure that you know what debts you have out there and the amount of those debts so that you're paying correctly. Overpayment fraud. If you're selling things, don't accept overpayment and then pay cash back. That's an easy fraud system. So watch out and use caution. And then work for home jobs. There's lots of them out on the web nowadays. Make sure that you ask some very detailed questions and use reputable sources. You can join us next week for more on financial literacy.